Hello and welcome, my friends. Tonight, my story is not going to be a personal experience, but instead it's going to be a story I heard from someone else. However, I like this story, so I will go forward and share it with you guys. When I was 14 years old, I attended a church camp that was aimed at preparing youngsters for their Lutheran confirmation. The camp was organized at an old rectory in the midst of a purest countryside milieu, with the manor-style main building alongside several farm buildings surrounding a large grassy yard. The buildings, I was told, had seen the worst of the Finnish Civil War, with people having been executed by firing squads behind the cowshed. There were actually some bullet holes in the wall, as I recall. There was a deaconess working at the camp. She was looking after us kids. She was a very warm person, almost like a mother figure to us. And she actually took great interest in us. I can remember her very vividly. Well, one night, a couple of my friends and I were sitting in her room in the actual rectory building, doing some late night talking. Gradually, we got into talking pretty deep stuff. I can remember my friends asking about Ouija boards and whether the deaconess believed in ghosts or spirits. The deaconess, she warned us against meddling with spirits and told us that according to Christian beliefs, spirits have nothing to do with our dear departed ones, but instead that the spirits are always evil creatures, demons, who want to lead people astray. According to her, spirits will tell us some part truths in order to lead us deeper into a world of lies and lead us away from God. The deaconess told us a story involving the rectory and one of the rooms close by. Some years before our camp, there had been a similar crowd of students preparing for their own confirmation. And one night, some girls had gathered to spend the late evening hours in the rectory with the deaconess, just like us now. They had all been in their pajamas and nightgowns, sitting on the beds in one of the bedrooms. According to the deaconess, one of the girls had recently lost a family member, and their discussion turned to death, dying, and generally the feeling of loss. The mood of the crowd sank clearly, and the grieving girl was quietly weeping. Everyone in the room fell silent then. The feeling was very somber, very sad, heartbreaking. At that moment, the bedroom's closed door swung open with a terrifying force. In fact, the swinging of the door was so violent that it hit the outside wall with a loud bang. Everyone in the room was flabbergasted, and some of the girls screamed out loud. The deaconess and a couple of the bravest girls burst out of the room to investigate, but there was no one else in the entire building. The living room outside the bedroom door was dark and quiet. The old wooden floors of the living room made creaking noises while the girls walked on them, but no footsteps were heard elsewhere in the building. The door to the foyer was closed, as was the front door. Like it often is with old buildings like this one, opening and closing doors also make sounds that are impossible to muffle when moving in the building. No draft was felt either, and all the windows in the house were closed and secured. The deaconess told us that later on it was discovered that the door had swung open with such force that the collision of the door to the outside wall had left clear marks on the paint. After the story time was over, we tried our best asking for any possible explanations to the events described, but the deaconess, she couldn't provide us with any. Us girls were left pondering about the story and marveling at the marks on the wall outside the bedroom. After that, we were also feeling some sort of unease when spending time in the main rectory building. Well, there you go. This was tonight's story. It was quite short, but anyway, I like it quite a lot. Hope it was a pleasant listening experience for you too. I hope to tell you many more tales in the days to come. Now I'm off to a gym, so see you soon.